The elders warned about humanity. Never defy them. They didn't listen. Admiral Trell of the Galactic Council surveyed the tactical display with growing concern. The human fleet had arrived at the edge of the Andromeda system, just as intelligence had predicted. What the reports had failed to convey was their sheer number. Hundreds of warships glinting against the backdrop of space like deadly stars. They've positioned themselves in a defensive formation, his second-in-command Officer Cray observed. Perhaps they're not here for confrontation. Trell scoffed. The humans are always ready for confrontation. That's what the elders warned us about. The elders, the oldest spacefaring civilization in the known galaxy, had established the Galactic Council 5,000 years ago. When humanity emerged from their insignificant blue planet merely 3 centuries past, the elders had issued a rare directive. Observe, engage diplomatically, but never defy them. Most council races found the warning laughable. Humans were technologically primitive, having just developed faster than light travel. Their physical form was unimpressive. No natural armor, mediocre strength, average speed. They lacked telepathy, significant regenerative abilities, or any other evolutionary advantages that would mark them as threats. But the elders insisted, and for 200 years, the council obeyed. Until last cycle, when Supreme Commander Vax authorized the Drell expedition to claim the mineral-rich Epsilon sector, a region humanity had declared as protected territory, despite having no formal claim recognized by the Council. Admiral, Officer Cray interrupted Trell's thoughts. We're receiving a transmission from the human flagship. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a human with graying hair and eyes that seemed to pierce through the transmission. This is Admiral Thomas of the United Earth Fleet. You are in violation of the Treaty of Proxima. Withdraw your forces immediately. Trell straightened his posture. This is Admiral Trell of the Galactic Council. We recognize no such treaty. The Council has designated this sector for resource development. Thomas's expression didn't change. The treaty was signed by your predecessor. We have transmitted the documentation again for your review. You have 1 hour to withdraw. The transmission ended. Cray looked concerned. Admiral, perhaps we should verify. Nonsense, Trell snapped. Commander Vax was clear. We don't back down from primitive species trying to claim territories beyond their capacity to hold. Ready all weapon systems. 58 minutes later, the tactical officer reported movement from the human fleet. They're not advancing, she said, puzzled. They're dispersing? Single ships moving to surround our position at extreme range. Trell laughed. They're trying to intimidate us with maneuvers. They don't have weapons effective at that distance. As the final minutes of the ultimatum ticked away, Trell felt a surge of confidence. The humans were bluffing. The elders' warnings were clearly exaggerated, probably some ancient misunderstanding or diplomatic courtesy that had become mythologized over time. 1 hour passed. Nothing happened. See? Trell gestured at the display. Send word to the mining fleet. They can begin operations immediately. That's when the sensors went dark. What's happening? Trell demanded. Unknown, sir, the tactical officer responded. All long-range sensors are offline. Communications followed seconds later. Then, auxiliary power. As emergency lighting bathed the command center in red, Trell realized with dawning horror what was happening. The humans hadn't built better weapons, they'd built better infiltration systems. Microscopic nanites probably deployed weeks ago, lying dormant until activated remotely. Get the engineers to... The ship lurched violently as main power failed. Around them, the entire fleet was going dark, ship by ship, like candles being snuffed out. None of their systems could detect the human approach. The first indication was a series of soft thuds against the hull, boarding parties attaching to their ships. Within 20 minutes, it was over. No shots fired, no casualties, just complete and total capitulation. Admiral Thomas stood before Trell on his own command deck, now controlled by human forces. The Treaty of Proxima, Thomas said, placing a physical document on the console, was signed by Commander Vax personally after a similar demonstration 3 years ago. He chose to keep it secret rather than admit humanity had neutralized his fleet in less than an hour. Trell's scales paled. How did you? We've had 300 years of warfare on Earth, Thomas explained calmly. Most species evolve past their violent tendencies before reaching the stars. We didn't. We carried our conflicts with us, refined them, learned to fight smarter rather than stronger. Thomas gestured around the ship. Your technology is impressive, but you approach conflict like academics. We approach it like survivors. Later that cycle, the Galactic Council received a formal message from the Human Alliance. Attached was video documentation of their fleet's complete neutralization, along with terms for the immediate release of all claims to the Epsilon sector. The Council approved unanimously. In private chambers afterward, the eldest Council member, Yuri, who had direct contact with the elders in his youth, shared what he had been told long ago. I asked why we should fear humans when they seemed so ordinary, he recounted. The elder told me, because while other species evolved to survive their environments, humans evolved to master theirs. When threatened, they don't adapt to the danger. They eliminate it. He looked at the others gravely. The elders didn't warn us about humanity because they're stronger or smarter than us. They warned us because humans are the only species they've encountered who view peace and war not as opposed philosophies, but as different tools in the same box. And they're exceptionally skilled at using both. The Council established new protocols that day. Diplomatic engagement with humanity would continue. Resource claims would be negotiated, not challenged. And most importantly, they would remember what happens when you don't listen to the elders' warnings.